right, everybody. Welcome to Tea Time with Liz. Come on in. Go ahead and share. It is our Mother's Day special. As you can see, I have some lovely guests with me tonight. I'm super excited. I will introduce them here soon, but go ahead and invite your friends and family. Get your tea. If you haven't got your tea yet, while we're talking about that, go ahead and hit me up if you would like your Tea Time with Liz cup mug. I am selling them. The bigger ones are $20, and the smaller ones, I didn't bring a small one with me, but it's just a little bit smaller. It is 10, and like I said, all the proceeds are going to be going to help single moms. That we can be a blessing to some of these single moms in the holiday season. Thank you to all those who have already sponsored and got your mugs. We are up to $200 already, so I'm truly excited.
Wow.
We got a couple more months to go before December hits, so I'm excited to get this program started. So, like I said, hit me up. Bless somebody with the mug if you already have one yourself. So you're never gonna have enough coffee cups or teacups, as I say, anyway. So, I just want to say shout out to the cast for the Steel Storm play. I did get to go experience it this last weekend, and oh my gosh, it was so amazing. If you did get to experience it, definitely let me know in the comments as well. But it was amazing. The storyline was definitely touching. They definitely brought it to life. So shout out to Miss Tina Marie and all, like I said, the cast members that we got to meet prior to the play. So thank you all for supporting us here on Tea Time, as well as allowing me to experience that. And then next week, like I said, this whole month we're going to be talking about mothers and motherhood anyway, and some fun things about just being a woman. So next week I have my good friend Miss Kat Reglin, who is an author of God Chose Me. She was on a couple times already, but we're going to talk about being single moms and what that means and the struggles that we've had and so forth. So I'm looking forward to that conversation. And then the next week I have my good friend Miss Lord Jesus, I don't forgot her name. That's not a good thing. Miss Brown, she'll get me later, but Tawanda Brown, she's going to be joining me with Plus Size Finds Management Fashion, and she's going to be talking to us about some fashion tips and different things and some of her line that's going to be coming out here later this summer. And then let's see, I think we got a game night coming up. So our game for the rest of probably, I think we should be able to do this for the rest of the year, for this season anyway, of Tea Time, is culture tags. Felicia, if you're watching, you can't play. she was killing the game last time, but we were gonna have a good time with culture tags. And then just a heads up, in June, of course, since it's Father's Day, it is gonna be all about the brotherhood. Okay, so definitely looking forward to some of those guests and different things that we'll be having in June. So nonetheless, let's get this party started. All right. Tonight I have some special guests. Like I said, I'm super excited to have my mom, Miss Tracy, who is joining me, and then my mom away from home, Miss Audrey Brown, and my bestie, of course, Miss Chris Worlds. Thank you all for joining us. Say hi to the people.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
So tonight, like I said, we're going to talk about motherhood a little bit, and just kind of talk about the different generations, right? So what motherhood is to us is definitely probably different to what you guys are dealing with today.
Definitely.
Or what you dealt with, I should say. So it's going to be awesome to see the different perspective, the things that have changed, and just all that fun stuff. So I will go ahead and let you guys first actually say a couple things. You want to say something quick, Mom? Say hi to the people, what you do.
Just like to give a shout out and tell all those that I missed on Mother's Day, Happy Mother's Day.
There you go.
Those that soon to be first time moms, Happy Mother's Day too. You are still a mom, even though you're still carrying the child.
Yes.
Just want to let y'all know that I'm just here to answer any questions if you have any. But I just enjoy being a mom. I wouldn't have given it up for nothing. I ended up with 4 children. I wanted 9, but I said, Jesus,
Wow.
I thank you for 4, because after I started having them, I said, I guess I don't want 9.
Wow, Mom. Thank
But
you.
I think it just because I was
thank
on the farm, and farm families always had big families. So.
Yeah.
So that was about the extent of that one.
Well, yes, shout out to my 2 sisters and my brother. Thank you guys for just being the only ones, because if we had 9 of us, Lord Jesus, help. I don't know if we would survive. But all right. Miss Audrey, what would you like to tell the people? Anything you want to shout out? To
Now,
anybody?
just kind of piggyback on what your mom said about saying Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers and stuff that I didn't get a chance to talk to on Sunday. I come from a big family. I have 8 sisters and 2 brothers.
Wow.
And I used to want a lot till I started having them too.
Right.
I stopped at 3. 3 is enough. Wasn't enough for me.
I hear you.
So yeah, I enjoyed every bit of it though. I have enjoyed every bit of being a mother. They drive me crazy still every now and then, but I enjoy it.
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. All right. Well, Chris, would you like to make any shout outs before we get started into our questions?
We do a shout-outs. No, happy Mother's Day to everybody. I think my perspective is going to be a little different today because I have a 17-year-old and 11-year-old, and then I'm currently pregnant with a new one. So I think things are a little bit different. I think having them earlier seems a little bit easier. This has been a little different. So I definitely want to dig into that and get feedback on that too, because I'm in that mixed group where I thought I was done having kids, but COVID and the Lord said something else. So,
she said, "Here I am."
Right.
Oh, well, I'm excited for this new one. I get to be an auntie again. I'm excited. So, I know Chris is like, I'm over it. Anyway, and my other sister, Vanessa, she couldn't join us. She was supposed to join us tonight. So shout out to her and my new nephew, Khalil.
Congratulations.
Yes, he is already, almost 6 months.
This Friday he'll be 6 months.
Wow.
And he is definitely got his mama's attitude, but we love him. We do. We love him. We do. But with that, so like you guys have already kind of talked about, like, your feeling about being a mother. So, what makes you love motherhood? Chris, you want to start?
Sure. So what makes me love motherhood? So I got pregnant with my first son at 17. So all I know is motherhood. I didn't have a single wild 20s.
Right.
So all I know is to be a mom, but it's I guess it's my second nature. Like I'm my mom's mom half the time. So it's natural. It's something that I felt like I didn't have to work for. I don't have to stress about. Like it just comes naturally for me. And having all boys is another natural thing. Like I'm definitely a boy mom. I'm definitely rough with them. Definitely mannish sometimes. So having the boys made it even easier to be a mom because I don't feel like I have to be outside of my element by any means. Still can be girly and still can do all that, but still super grounded with the boys. So I think just from me, my upbringing, just my personal nature makes me enjoy being a mom.
Aww. I love it. Yes, shout out to all the boy moms. Hashtag boy moms. Okay. All right, Miss Audrey, what do you love about being a mom?
I would have to say, just being able to be there for them, I was fortunate enough to be able I didn't have to work because my husband worked all the time. So I was able to stay home with them and spend quality time with them. I was able to go to just about everything that they were into, instead of at least one of the parents was there. And I happened to be that parent. And just the fact of watching them as they grew up, and being all of them with their little personalities. And with Chris, like I said, she was mom at an early age. She really was, because I got sick when she was 5. And Chris kind of, she how bossy she is. She took over. Brandy's the oldest. Chris kind of took over, and she told
Yes.
everybody what they can do and cannot do, and so and to this day, like she said, she still thinks she's my parent. I have to, every now
Yes.
and then I'm still a mama.
Hey,
But
somebody got to take care of you, Miss Audrey. Okay.
it's funny, right? Because every time if somebody asks me to do something, they say, "Oh, wait a minute, I got to go ask Chris first." I'm like, "Wait a minute, I'm still Chris's mom," But
Love it.
I really think just being able to spend that quality time with them and do things with them and just watch them, from little bitty baby just grow up to the people that they are now. It's always been a joy for me.
Amazing, right? Okay, Mom.
I think the joy about being a mother or having motherhood is like I always wanted to have kids. Like I said, I wanted to have a lot, but then when you see them nurture themselves into, you want to see what they're going to be like, and so you try to make them into things that you kind of want to see that you didn't get to be. Somewhat, I don't know, like maybe I wanted to do more things with my life, but I still let them do their own things. I wanted them to learn on their own, to pick the things they wanted to do, and to, I don't know, experience things that even I did, even as a kid. And I thought I was doing right things sometimes with my, you'd get spankings or whatnot, where, it was different when I was growing. I mean, we're raising my kids because that's when spanking kind of started going by the wayside, so to
Right.
speak, and
Mhm.
people would watch you. So you can, spank your kids like I used to get spanked when I was, a kid.
Right.
My dad wouldn't be take a second, and if we did something wrong, he'd have the belt out, and yeah.
Yeah, well, I did. I spanked him
Yeah.
anyway. I didn't really care.
I was gonna
Well,
say.
I
we
used to tell, look,
they got the spankings, but it was more in the house. You
I used
couldn't
to
do
tell
it
the
more out in
people,
public, but
used to tell the people, I bought him in his world. I'm gonna take him
there
back
you
out.
go.
So,
Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
I
think
would
I
get them
heard
wherever
those,
they were
I
at.
heard
I'd
those
get them
words.
wherever they were at, so they could remember. Don't act crazy. Where
Right?
Right.
Don't
Yeah.
act crazy. But I think I missed, that the most by being able to, like, even when you'd go out, or even sometimes in church, you get them looks, like, what? But sometimes you just had to snatch them up because
That's
they were
true.
acting up, and people gave you some looks. But it's like, hey, I got to do what I got to do
That's
for
right.
me.
Well,
I
Keep
want
them
my
out of
kids to be
right.
something, and I don't want them to be, locking
And
me
you
up
don't
in the
want to.
closet.
You want to keep them out of jail and keep them
That's
alive.
right.
That's it.
Amen.
and
Amen.
luckily, she's done a great job with that. So
Yes.
she's talking
Yes.
about my siblings, not me.
No,
Right.
okay, Liz.
We'll talk about that. It's a whole separate tea time.
Right.
Whole separate tea time. But shout out to Miss Elise. Hey, how are you tonight? Yes. But I think I really enjoy being a mom, and I just have the one son. Cortland. He definitely keeps me busy. We do a lot of things like video games and things that boy mom has to do. You don't want to have to watch wrestling, but it's the things you got to do for that quality time. But trust me, I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world, just to I think, like you all have said, see them evolve into their own person.
Right.
And he's 12 now, and it's like, dang man, I like missed the baby stage. I missed the stage of not talking back. But,
Oh, you just beginning. You talking about that stage
Right.
just getting ready to start?
but
It ain't ended.
No,
right,
by no
it's
means.
just begun. Shout out to all the
Woo, yes.
preteen moms out there. But but yeah, just to see him grow up. But I do love his independence, and he tries to act like my dad. It's fine, but we get it together. But like I said, I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. So well, you two are grandparents. So how does that feel to be grandparents though now? Like,
I love being a grandparent because
Look.
you can take them as
Yes.
long as you want. You can give them back.
Say hi.
But you're still. I almost feel like sometimes that I'm
Bye-bye.
still a mom to them. Even though they're my grandchildren, I feel like I'm a mom to them too. So,
That's true.
yeah, and I love to have them around whenever they can come around, spend the night, take care of them, even if they're sick.
Oh yeah,
You treat them like your own. I mean, like
like
your
your
own.
own.
Yep.
That's true.
Yep.
I
And
feel
then
like,
when it's time, but the good part about it too, though, is when they don't live with you, you can send them home.
Right? There you go. There you go.
But the problem is they don't ever want to go home.
Right.
That's the problem.
Oh,
That is
until
that
they
is
become
fact.
until they get into that little teenage stage, then of course they're gone. So
No,
right.
it's surprising. Well, yeah, like on what was it, Sunday, Court. We left the restaurant after having dinner. Court got mad at me because he wanted to go to my mom's house, and I was like, "No, we're going home because I ain't coming back out." I was
Right.
tired. I was ready to go home. He was mad. He's like, "No, I'm going to grandma's." So yeah, I don't know what y'all do to these grandkids, but
see, we don't have to be parents to them. So we get to have more fun with the grandbabies because they go home to the parents, and so
Right.
we get to spoil the grandbabies now.
Right. There you go.
that's the
Spoiling.
problem. That's the problem.
No,
Let's talk about that, Chris. What are some things that your mom does?
Then they get to go home and get disciplined by the parents.
What are some of the things, as these grandparents are talking about that kind of drive you nuts? Because I can tell you this. I'll tell her, don't feed him certain things, don't do certain things. And then he comes home talking about, grandma gave me this,
Right.
grandma gave me that. And they be sending it's not like, just little bite-sized candy bars or anything. No, they be buying the biggest ones, like the ones you eat at the movies, and sending them home. Like,
because we get to spoil them. We get to spoil them.
I think grandparents, they my mom in particular, she gets hard of hearing with these grandkids. Like, she don't hear nothing, she don't see nothing, they don't do no wrong. It's not that big of a deal. I'm just being mean, give them a break. The same stuff I did, I was getting beat for. It's like,
okay? Listen.
talk to them.
You can do that to your children.
Right. It's her job. That's her job as the parent. See, she was my child, so I had to discipline her.
Right.
Those are her kids. She has to discipline. I get to spoil them.
Right.
See,
I love you, Chris.
Hey, so we love you guys, we do, but it's just that fine line of what I was getting beat for.
The thing is, you guys will understand when your grandkids come.
I hope so one day.
I'm getting y'all have McDonald's money now. Y'all got out to eat money now. Y'all got vacation money now.
Right.
Because we don't go to a store and get something.
Because we don't have to take care of you guys anymore. That's how. Because we don't have to take care of you guys anymore. Now we have that money.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll let you lie. We'll slide on that one. Just know.
Your day is coming. See, your day is coming.
Listen. Okay, so the next question is, and I'll ask my mom this first, but do you ever find yourself doing things like your mom?
Oh my gosh. I'll turn my head and think, oh my God, my mom does that. Or I'll say something. I go, oh my God, I sound just like my mother. Even when I'm messing with the kids or the grandkids, I'll be like, Jesus, my mom did that same thing. So yeah, I see a lot of my mom in me. But I see sometimes a lot of my girls, how they act with their kids, like Vanessa and Liz. Oh yeah, I see what they do. They act just like me. So yeah, Vanessa's just like me, and so she's like my mom.
Shout out to Vanessa for real. Yeah, that is her twin. Yeah. Now we're praying about me. We're gonna pray about that.
No,
Chris, I'll ask you next. Do you find yourself doing things like your mom?
I do, and it's like shockingly scary at times because
right?
it's like the most random stuff, and I'll catch myself and be like, "Oh my God, no, not doing that." And then like the kids will say it, like my oldest will be like, "Oh my God, you sound just like grandma." Oh,
right?
You sound just like, and I'm like, "I'm my own person." No,
right? I'm with you, Chris.
So like, as much as I try to run and hide from it, like we sound the same. We dang near look the same. Like how we do things with the kids and scream and holler and everything. Like I hear it and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm my mom. Like
it's straight up. Audrey living with you.
How do you feel about that, Audrey?
I was gonna say, Miss Audrey, how do you feel?
I don't see the resemblance because to me she looks like her dad's side of the family. But as far as her attitude, everything, that's my child. I'll tell anybody.
Right?
She has her mother's attitude. Seriously, sometimes I'll be like, girl, just
Right.
I see it a lot in Chris, but she's been like that since she was born. She really she's been I mean, this girl has been a mama since she was a little bitty thing. She's little trying to tell people what to do. And it's like, wait a minute. People start to say, she told me. I had to tell her, you're not their mama, baby. Just stop, But she's been like that since she was little. And I see it sometimes. I'll catch her saying things. I'll be like, did I just say that? Or she'll say, I'm not like you. I'm not. Yes, you are. You are. And she's bossy like her mama. She is. She is.
Okay,
I love her though.
do you find yourself doing things like your mom though?
Some things, not too many, but
Okay.
I think the discipline part was one of the main things.
Main
Yeah.
thing.
I found myself doing just like her. But then I had to catch that and say, wait a minute. I had to change up some things too, because I said I don't want to keep beating my kids all the time.
Right.
We got beef for everything. We were taught kids ought to be seen and not heard.
Well,
And so we weren't allowed to ask questions like that. So I made a point of not doing that part and letting them talk and ask questions. And sometimes I didn't want to answer them, but it's like, okay. So I was like, just go do something else for a minute,
right. We'll talk about this later.
Yeah.
It slips their mind.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome. I don't know. I do find myself doing some things. Yes, I gotta confess,
Yeah.
I do some. I'm not gonna say everything like my sister, but yeah, I do find myself, and I definitely am like Chris. I'd catch myself and I'd be like, stop right now, get yourself together, and pull it in. But I think it's just the whole. I think it's the whole nurturing that part. What I love about this group here tonight too is that we all have that nurturing, and it's been there since we've been little, kind of a thing,
Yeah.
that it's just a part of us, and it's just easy, right? So that is definitely something we I think every woman out there, and I'm sure some of you in the audience could probably catch yourselves acting like your mom as well. So let's get into the cool stuff here. So Chris, like you stated before, you're about to expect your third one, and so what are some of the things that have changed since you've had Braylon, that you see now today than you did back then? And I guess it wasn't that long, but he's 11, right?
He's 11.
Yeah.
So I would say it's way too many options. I feel overwhelmed in the store because just give me Johnson or Baby Magic is way too much
Right.
stuff. But everything just is, and the prices, like the pack of diapers is ridiculous.
What are we looking like, 20 something?
That's for like that's not even a mega pack. That's just like the get you through a couple day packs.
That's ridiculous. Okay, yeah.
I would say even a lot has changed from having him and and being pregnant now. Even with the oldest, like even how they do shared hospitals or shared like nurses and shared doctors, where you see a couple of them in your network, so that way when you do go in labor, you are familiar with them. So that's different. That I didn't have that before. I just had my core team before, but now I'm seeing like different midwives throughout the pregnancy, so that way, like I said, if you do go in, you'll at least be familiar with someone in there, not just whoever's on duty. So for me, that's been a big change. And being pregnant with a COVID baby,
Right.
completely different itself, because not only do we have restrictions on like where we go, but we even have restrictions on the doctor, right? So the first few months were just me. Joe couldn't come in, he couldn't do anything with me, couldn't go to ultrasound. So that was a little tough mentally, because I was so sick. So just doing everything kind of solo and not having that like access that I was used to having, that was different. But I'm just older now, so my whole body's different.
Right. It's not like you can just get up and keep going, right?
Definitely, like this. Listen, hitting these mid-30s and being pregnant is for the birds. Anybody who has kids, I applaud you. This is not my lot in life, so these bad boys will be tied.
She said it's over after this one, everybody. It's fine.
And they have gaps. So the kids, have gaps in them. The boys, like I said, are 17 and 11, so they already have a small gap. So the gaps have been great, but it's it's kind of always restarting over a little bit.
Yeah.
Always starting over, so
Yeah.
that's a little different.
It's going to be different, right? Yeah, that is. But
'Cause
I think
I'm in the senior year phase, the full blown teenage phase,
that, like, you're literally starting
literally
over. You're like getting rid of one and
knocking his head off phase.
another one. Yeah. Like, that's crazy. Oh my god.
I had my last one I was 32 when
Yeah.
I had Jeremiah.
How did you feel versus, I think, the rest
When
of
I
us?
had you?
Yeah.
It was harder. And even from when I had Liz 9 or 10 years before that, I went into the hospital and I had a room and a delivery room. Then they brought you back to a hospital room. So you had like labor room, delivery room, and then you had your hospital room. Now, and then by the time I got to Jeremiah, I just had one room in the hospital. They delivered him in that same room. They just opened up this and that, and next thing I knew, they were all out of there, and he was there. And so it was, like just in 9 years' time, it was like,
It was different.
what in the world?
Yeah.
And I paid, like $2.95 for a can of formula then.
Girl,
now it's
bye.
like 42. I'm like, what?
Right.
Somebody
So-
write that down. I ain't never seen no
And-
$2 nothing.
And I had to use cloth diapers for Liz
Right.
because they just
Wow.
started coming out with the Pampers and the taping on stuff. Yeah. So yeah, it was
what made you
and
want
car
to
seats.
Car
yeah.
seats are definitely different. But quick question before you go any further. What made you want to do cloth? Because just thinking about that, I can't even imagine.
Because I guess I learned from that. My mom taught me about that, and she goes, well, and plus I said the Pampers and all those weren't quite out yet, or
Right.
maybe just coming out. So I thought,
Really?
well, I'll just do cloth diapers. I can do laundry. Wrong, but that took a lot, and having to have rubber pants and
Mhm.
and they would leak out the sides and and cleaning out dirty
Yes.
diapers, cloth diapers. No, wasn't the good thing.
Really? Miss
I did it though because
Really?
it saved me money.
It did.
Yeah.
Did you do cloth diapers?
I did cloth diapers, but
Yes,
I enjoyed
ma'am.
it though. I mean, I was home,
She
so
said I enjoyed
did.
it.
I
Yeah,
enjoyed
when
it.
you're
It
home
was-
like
it was
that,
fun.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
it was
gotta
fun.
carry them
And-
to the daycare and all that.
Right. I didn't do daycare. I taught the kids until they were at the house until they went to kindergarten.
Yeah.
And I did the cloth diapers. I did all that.
Yeah.
But it was at that time it was fun. I was younger then, so
Right.
Then today, no. But then, like I
Right.
said, like your mom said, it saved on money on diapers. You didn't have to worry about buying all those diapers and stuff like that. And I breastfed my kids too. I didn't do formula. Chris was the only one I couldn't breastfeed because she was born early.
Yeah.
So I breastfed the other two, and I didn't have to worry about buying formula. They went straight from
There
that
you
to
go.
other milk. So it was, and then the whole dynamics were different then too. They were
Absolutely.
different. And these little kids nowadays, look, they come out knowing everything. You want to smack them when they come out because they act like they know everything. You can't tell these kids nothing.
But okay, like going back, so leaving the hospital, did you have to have a car seat?
No.
Yes, I did.
You didn't?
Yep.
You didn't have to?
It wasn't required at that time, but I did have them. But it wasn't really. You didn't really have to, because I think with Brandy, when I first had Brandy, I didn't have a car seat. I bought her home. Actually, I bought her home in a cab though, but didn't worry about a car seat. But the other two, I did get car seats for, but it wasn't really a big requirement. At that, it started to become one.
Right.
But it really wasn't at that particular time. You could put your kids in the car and strap them up, but that wasn't a good thing either because they like to play with the locks and all that stuff. And yeah, so car seats I think are a good thing to a point. I do think they're especially, but nowadays I couldn't tell you how to put them in and out half the time. Look,
Right.
last week
they have changed.
yeah,
They got bases now.
we didn't want to talk about the strollers, okay?
Right.
The other week, I'm trying to open up this doggone stroller. Me and Brandy took the boys to the mall trying to open up this stroller. I had to go find a stranger and say, "Can you show me how to do this?"
Put this
Stop.
together.
Oh no.
So I didn't know what to do. Brandy don't know either. So we both looking crazy, like what to do.
How many people does it take to put a stroller?
I said, let me go find another mother to ask her. And I did. She said, oh, here, this is how you do it. I really felt kind of crazy, but at the same time, I was like, I had two kids. I had to put them in a stroller.
Right.
Right.
But I didn't watch how she folded it up from the beginning. I didn't pay attention. I'm thinking, oh, I know how to do this. Girl, never again. I guarantee I'm gonna learn how from this point on.
That's what I said.
Right.
Us as grandmas got to take classes on all these new tools they
Seriously,
got.
do. It was because the little
Serious.
umbrella strollers was so simple. You just pull it open.
Right?
Now they got all these different gadgets on these strollers. You don't know what to do.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm learning. I'm
I
learning.
know it.
She said, "I'm
We
learning.
get it.
I'm learning."
Sooner or later.
Yeah, even with the car seats, if you pull it too tight, it's then you gotta how to figure out how to pull it loose again. That gives you a headache.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie, it is a lot because I couldn't even get my nephews, and now I thought courts was complicated, but once you like put it together yourself, or you as a mom, you figure it out. But this new stuff, Chris, are you ready?
Well, even seatbelts back then were crazy.
They
You
were.
didn't have the crazy seatbelts they got now.
That's
Yeah.
true.
You pull them and they spring back. No, ours didn't do that.
Do that.
Yeah. So, Chris, are you ready for these strollers? And
All these gadgets.
yeah,
I will say yes, but I will also be honest and say Joe and I have played in Target and Bye Bye Baby quite a bit. So we have, and then I've been like finding these YouTube or not YouTube TikTok hacks about like carrying the car seat and all this stuff.
really
I'm like, oh, I'm so out of the loop. But I will say we have done our fair share of practicing with these.
good. Good. Practice is where it's at. Practice is definitely where it's at.
Yeah.
Do they
We
even
didn't
have
no
birthday
bottle
classes
warmers either.
anymore? Do they have birthday classes anymore?
I think they do. I don't know, Chris.
They do. I mean, I don't know how you do a virtual birthing class. Like, they're just watching the internet. But I will say for me, I took them with my oldest, and I don't think I've used any of the techniques at all in labor.
Really?
Besides breathing, like that's all you can teach me. But
That's it.
that's I don't know.
Oh no, she
froze. She's frozen.
Oh no. Okay, well we'll wait for her to come back. But there she goes. You froze, Chris.
You were frozen.
Oh, did I?
Yeah. You said something about
Am I
birth.
better now?
Yeah, you're better.
Am I better?
Yeah.
You're
Okay.
good.
I don't know. In birth, like all that stuff goes out the window. Like you don't even be trying to think about what you learned in the class. So it's
True.
just kind of be like, let's just go.
Exactly. Let's just get this baby out.
Yeah.
Sister Brown, I have a question for you. Did they have epidurals when you had your children?
Yes, they did. Thank you, Jesus.
Really?
But the only thing was, like with Chris, she was born like 3 or 4 months early, so I had to have the emergency C-section with her.
Okay.
But Brandy, and only one I really had it with was my son, because my oldest one, by the time I was in labor and I was in the hospital, and then I got checked, and she said, "Oh, it's going to be a few hours." I said, "Okay." She walked out. The nurse literally walked out the room, and I screamed. And she came back. "You have to be quiet." I said, "No, I don't." And she kept saying, "It's not time." I said, "Oh, yes, it is. It is." And she kept knowing. I said, "Well, what's this?" I was holding my baby's head in my hands, and that was within a matter of minutes that she had checked me, and the baby was head. I was holding Brandy's head in my hands, going, "What is this then?" Then they had to rush me to the other room, and it was like, okay, but she's just about out now.
Right.
And so I didn't have time for it. And then the only one I really had was my son, because he was just stubborn too. But Chris decided she wanted to come 4 months early.
She was ready for this world.
Yeah.
Okay.
And look, if she came out, they said she looked like she knows so much more than she knows.
Oh,
And she's been like
look
that
at
ever
her.
since. She's been like that ever since. Yeah.
That's what's up, Mom.
Yeah.
They didn't have epidurals then.
I think they did, but I think the first time they came in with and asked me if I wanted one, I really didn't know what it did. So I was like, no, don't give me no, because they said we just shoot you in your spine, or I was like, no,
Right.
that's okay. So
That's
I went through all my natural childbirth.
Yes.
Everything was all no drugs.
I applaud you, because I'm telling you, I was ready.
Give it up for my mom.
I was ready to just knock anybody out that came anywhere near me.
The
Literally.
first one, Liz, took like 8 hours, and Pastor Clark was there rubbing my back, but hers was all more back labor. But the other ones, within 2 hours, I was good.
Wow.
Baby, let's go. Yeah.
That's not 2 hours. That's nice.
Yep.
She said 2
I
hours.
wish.
They was
Yeah.
out. Wow.
They were ready to go.
No, I
Yeah,
remember
I
my
was definitely not doing no shot in my back and feeling paralyzed. No, absolutely not.
yeah, because they
Oh,
tell you if you move an inch, they could
girl, it's over.
Right.
paralyze.
It's over.
Right. That's
And I
scary.
wanted to
tell
get up and
somebody
walk when after I had my kids, and I did
But
too.
it's like, why would you tell a pregnant woman something like that the minute you get ready to put this needle in her back?
Right?
That
Okay.
was the
Like,
scary part, I think, to me. And then they made a mistake of showing me the needle. I was like, ah.
right?
That big old needle. I was like, okay. But by then I was like, go and do what you need to do because I'm about to hurt
Right?
somebody if you don't. Yeah.
Amen.
Listen, no, see, nope. I didn't even want to see the needle. I told them straight up from the get go, I ain't doing it.
See?
So
You did it.
I did
Yeah,
it
you did it.
natural. I don't know what I was thinking, but
I know,
I
right?
did it natural. I made it through.
I applaud
Um,
y'all because I'm telling you, Chris, and I was so Chris, that girl could take some pain.
I was gonna say,
was
Chris, did
crying.
you?
Look, I was in pain for her, and she's sitting there like it wasn't nothing. I'm like,
I did natural. I actually prefer. So I've done both ways. I do prefer natural over the epidural.
Really?
One, I'm a control.
Yeah.
So I
I can hear you.
without having any medicine, and I thought labor went 10 times easier for me with no meds.
Right.
So this go around again, I'm going to try to do no meds and do water birth.
Right.
Water birth, yes.
Wow.
That is
I always
definitely.
saw that afterwards, and then I thought, God, that'd be fun to do.
I was gonna say, was that an option? Apparently not.
No.
No.
Then you guys are like, no.
I mean, this was like after I had all the kids, and then they come out with this. I was like,
Yeah.
man.
There's so many different things that you can actually have your own birth at home. Like you
Yeah,
just have a
you have a-
midwife come, and
Yeah.
you don't even have to go to the hospital. So, yeah,
Well, I mean, that's how they used to do it back in the day. They had the babies at home.
There you go. Yep, they had the
That's my
midwives
thing,
always
going
come out.
home.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I never did a midwife. I always
That's
did a
true.
doctor. Did you guys do midwives?
I didn't. I always
No?
had a doctor.
Yeah.
You had a doctor.
Yeah, doctor.
But Chris, you said you're doing midwives, or you have doctors too? I don't know if she's frozen still.
She's frozen again.
Oh no.
Yeah, she's frozen again.
Okay. We'll wait for her to come back.
I'll text
But, so going back to this birthing process. So let's talk about pre-birth, like the doctor checkups and stuff. Your guys' ultrasounds, were they 3D? Probably not.
Oh,
Did you
Lord,
get
no.
pictures at all?
I didn't have any.
I got pictures, but they weren't 3D.
Okay.
You couldn't-
Okay.
look,
I didn't have
So
any
you still have
ultrasounds
pictures.
until my last one.
They look like a little blob to me. That's all.
She said I couldn't see nothing. I don't know what would have.
But I never wanted. It's funny because I never wanted to know. I never knew what they were on purpose because to me it spoiled the element of surprise.
See,
I was
me
gonna
too.
say,
Me
do you
too.
think that's something that is robbed from us today?
I do.
Like, I think
I do.
with the whole gender
Yeah,
reveal
you just
party.
gotta wait
I
and see
do.
what the Lord brings you, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought
That
too.
was just, to me, that was the most exciting thing not to know until that day when that child
Yep.
came what it was. Yeah.
Yep.
So then, how did you guys prepare if you didn't know what you were having? So did you just
Just
buy
all
neutral?
neutral stuff. Yeah.
Right. You didn't
Because
buy
you
anything. I mean, you got your diapers and your t-shirts and your, the main things you always had, and then you just
Right.
bought neutral color, yellow or green or whatever. Didn't
And
matter.
most of the time, your baby's was in a diaper and t-shirt anyway.
Right? That's what I said.
Okay.
So as
Wrapped
long
up
as
in a
I had
blanket.
the main
Let's be
stuff, the
honest.
t-shirts and just pajamas, and they didn't have to
There you
be. They
go.
could be white with little animals on it. Didn't matter
Yeah.
if that was a girl or boy. Just
Right.
yeah,
So that was, but I think that was the fun part
Yeah.
to me
yeah.
was finding out the day that the baby came what it was. That was exciting.
That was the most exciting thing. And I think that, I mean, some people still do that today. It can be somewhat frowned upon that, they don't do the whole gender reveal. They wait for the surprise. And I think that is something to look
Yeah.
forward to or to keep, in mind. But technology has definitely changed a lot of things.
Definitely. But
To
gender,
where,
that's not always gender reveal. I found that is not always great either because sometimes they'll tell you it's one thing. I know one person that they kept telling she was having a boy, but then that baby came out and it was a
it
girl.
was a whole situation. Oh,
Yeah.
no.
It was like she had bought all this boy stuff and had to return it all because she had a girl. So
Wow,
if
yeah.
they really get the good ones, yeah. But you got to almost pay big money to get
True.
the really
Yeah,
good.
yeah, I'm gonna need a whole 3D clear picture
There
on
you
that
go.
situation.
Right. Well,
That's
but I
it.
had a story with that too because I had the 3 girls, and then when I got pregnant with my last one, which was a boy, I told the doctor, I said, this one I want to know because I said whether it's a boy or girl, we're just going to be done. So I need to have know. And he says, and I had a dream like the night before I went for my ultrasound to find out what it was going to be. And he says, gosh, it's got its butt turned. So I said, he goes, I really can't tell, but he goes, if I had to guess, he says, I'm guessing it's probably going to be another girl. And I was like, no, because God showed me in my dream it was going to be a boy, and he was going to have his butt turned, so the doctor couldn't tell me. So then when Jeremiah was born and it was a boy, I was like, oh my God, because the doctor goes, it is a boy, and he held it up to me. But
So, but you couldn't tell it when you went to your
I
ultrasound.
couldn't tell, and he couldn't tell when I went to the ultrasound. He had his butt turned, just like the Lord showed me. You aren't going to be able to tell because he's going to have his butt turned.
Wow.
Well, he had a sense of humor with me though, because
Did he?
I see that because like with my girls, I dreamed they were boys and
Wow.
they were girls. And so when I got pregnant with my son, I looked at my stomach. I said, "Look, you better be a boy because I'm not going no further. You're it. So you gotta if you're a girl,
Right?
you can't turn into a boy real quickly."
You better
Right?
figure it out.
I was done, but I had dreams with my girls. I had dreams that they were boys, and they took both girls.
They became
Wow.
girls. Wow.
You do sometimes have dreams though that maybe what it's going to be. I don't know if that
You
But,
think?
but it's funny though, because with Chris, I've had the dreams I had about her. She had boys. I had dreams, even though we wanted a girl, but
Yeah.
Now you wish.
I mean, you go with boy number 5. Come on, you got boys. My son got boys. I need one girl.
I was gonna say you're all your grandkids are all boys, right?
And I never wanted boys. I mean, I always wanted boys though, because I had, like I said, I have 8 sisters. Like 2
Wow.
brothers.
Right.
I always wanted boys, and what I have 2 girls and 1 boy. Okay,
Most definitely.
I got a sense of humor for real.
Right.
He definitely does.
I'm telling you.
He definitely does. And I think that's funny because I mean, there's obviously more girls on our family, and us so far us girls have been having boys. So it will be interesting.
Boys
We're thinking my brother's gonna get stuck with all the girls.
Oh, that would be so sad. He was mad at y'all for real.
We'll see what happens. I hope he does.
So
At
mad at
least
you guys.
he deserves 2 of them. He deserves one to be like me and one to be like my sister Vanessa. So sorry to my sister-in-law, but because my son definitely acts like him. So I always tell him come get his child. So it is too funny. All right. So hopefully Chris will be able to join us back here soon. But one thing I do want to ask you guys too is what is some advice you would give to mothers through the different stages? Because obviously, most of your kids are grown now. So, from, just early motherhood to, even adulthood, what is some advices you would give to some other moms out here? And I'll start with you, Sister Audrey.
I guess I would say nowadays you really have to have a lot of patience.
That's what I was going to say.
You got to have a lot of love. You got to love babies. If you don't, nothing's going to go right. You got to definitely be disciplined. Definitely be disciplined. And because, like I said, nowadays these little kids are just, I've seen little bitty kids just out of control. And not be afraid, people are afraid of their kids nowadays. You can't be afraid of your children. You got to be stern with them. You got to, at the same time level. They got to know that I love you, but I'm not going to put up with craziness out of you too.
Right.
We have they have to know their boundaries.
Right.
As children. But I would really just say, pour as much love into your babies as you can. Let them know that no matter what, I still love you. We're not, nobody's perfect. You're gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna make mistakes. But and sometimes you grow together.
Right.
Especially for first time moms. You're gonna grow together with that child. You gotta learn that child, and that child has to learn you. So don't get so frustrated all the time and want to give up, and don't do that. Just kind of take that time, and definitely take time out for yourself. You can pour all your love out to your baby, but you have to still, if you never take your time out for you, then you're gonna stay frustrated, you're gonna stay upset, and what a lot of women don't realize, babies sense that. Our baby sense when something's not
They
right.
sure
So
do.
good.
And then they'll start acting up even more, or you try to
Yep.
figure out what's going on with them, and not understanding that they're upset because you're upset.
Mm.
So that's why it's very important to take care of yourself. You take care of the baby, but take care of yourself.
Most
Do
definitely.
what you have to do for mental wise, physical wise, for your own self, because that's a big key right there. And you being successful in raising that child and taking care of that child is you take care of yourself.
That's so good. Okay.
I agree. That's what I was going to say is just have patience. A baby knows exactly how you're feeling, even as a mom. When you go to grab them and they're crying and you're just getting frustrated, and it's like, just stop, you yourself. But sometimes you just, like you said, you got to take time out for yourself. Even single moms,
Yes.
find somebody that that you can trust, but, leave your baby with them for a minute and go find something to do for yourself. Even if it's to sit and read a book for a couple hours by yourself in a coffee shop, or just to keep your own self, so you're mindful of the things that you're doing in your own life, because your babies count on you. They
Right.
count on their moms more than they count on the dads. The dads
That's
are
true.
there for disciplining a lot, but the moms are there for nurturing and
Yes.
loving, and to show them how to love.
Hmm.
I just feel like the women and the women are the ones that have to nurture the kids into loving and respecting people.
Mhm.
Respect somebody else's mom or grandmother, or even the woman's house.
Right.
Also, to not become your child's friend, but be their parent.
Definitely.
Okay.
A lot of
Definitely.
young ladies today, single moms, or they want to be their child's friend because they feel like they have nobody else.
Hmm.
But that's a trick of the enemy. You can't trust this world to be take care of your children.
That's right.
You have to be the one to discipline them and be the mom
Right.
and nurture them into what you want to see them to be in the future.
Hmm.
Wow.
That's true.
That's so
Yeah.
good. Well, wow. Hey, Lindsay, how are you? And hey, Lauren and Miss Tamika, I seen you all earlier as well. Thank you all for tuning in. But wow, that was some great wisdom, you all. I think, any of us that are listening, just even in the stages that we are all in, whether your child's a baby or a middle-aged
Grown.
child
Hmm.
or grown, like you said, I think, that patience thing definitely hits home. And even as you say, as a single mom, definitely taking that time for yourself,
Absolutely.
because your mind can go crazy,
Yes.
especially
Yeah.
because you hold so many hats, right?
Mhm.
And so I'm excited to talk about that next week as well, when we get into to talking about single moms. But what is one thing motherhood has taught you? Obviously, you've shared a lot of wisdom, and so you've probably learned some things. But what is some things that it's taught you? So yeah, Miss Audrey, you can go first.
Um, I would first of all, it taught me patience because I really didn't have a lot of patience with people, and my children taught me to have patience. They taught me how to really love. They taught me unconditional love
There you
Mm,
go.
because when you're dealing with people, sometimes there's conditions, but children give you unconditional love, and they let you know that no matter you're not perfect, but they let you know I love you no matter what.
mm,
Even when you discipline them, they still come back and hug you and it's like
that's
they
true.
1 minute you beat them and the next minute they back in your arms, like
Right.
they done just forgot what just happened.
What just
And
happened,
that's
right?
unconditional love,
It is.
and I think that's very, very important, and always let your kids know, that no matter what, I love you no matter what. I'm your mom. I'm your parent. I'll always be there for you. I'll always love you. Sometimes I notice a lot of young mothers, they cussing their kids out. No, don't do that. Just
Yeah.
Mm,
don't. They didn't ask for that. Don't do that. You
Right.
know, and just like to be there. Don't, like she said, like mom said, don't. You're not their friend. You're the parent, and
yeah.
let them know. I'm your parent. I'm not your friend, but I am your parent, and I love you. I love you more than
Right.
anybody ever will, because
There
I
you go.
carried you for 9 months. I nurtured you. I've done all this, and they'll I always one thing I realized, they'll never forget that. because my all
Yeah.
my kids are grown now, but yet they're there. I know I can depend on my children now because I took care of them. I love them unconditionally, and they love me unconditionally. Sometimes I wish, they come over and they don't want to go home. It's like you got a home to go to, But even now,
Right.
my grown kids will come over here and climb right in my bed with me, and I
Yeah.
love it. I love every bit of that,
Yeah.
Aw.
and they know that no matter what, mom's gonna. Don't God give me strength? I'll be there for them.
Right.
I'll love them. I'll still discipline them, even grown, and I'll let them know, hey, you wrong for that or whatever. But they'll come back to me later on and say, Mom, you were right. And that's one thing I realized. Your kids will come back to you later on in life and say, you know what, I learned from you. You were right about certain things. So I would definitely say no matter what, love your children. Be stern with them. Be just discipline them. Let them know, right from wrong. But
Yeah.
always let them know that no matter what, I love you.
That's so good. I love that. I love that. And that's so true. I mean,
Mhm.
at the time, I mean, speaking from a child's point of view, because I ain't that old yet, is that you a lot of this stuff does come back to you and you start to appreciate
You
those
do.
hard times that your mom told you this or, try to warn you or, whatever the case may be. So I can definitely testify to that
Right.
is definitely some great wisdom that you shared and even speaking life into children. I
Yes.
think that is so important that you tell your child, especially if they don't speak it themselves, that
Yeah.
Right.
you are the mom.
Always encourage them. Always.
Always.
Right. And
Mhm.
I think I mean we could be honest here as women of God, we know that we set the atmosphere for our
Yes.
home. We set the tone, everybody rolls off of how we roll.
That's
so
true.
so
That's
If mama
true.
ain't happy, the house
The
ain't
house ain't
happy.
happy. That's right.
Listen, we all know the truth,
That's
okay? And
true.
so and I think it scares the child too when mama ain't right. So everybody better get it together,
That's
okay?
it. That's
there have
true.
been there have been
That's
times
true.
I remember my mom was like, I've had enough of y'all, and I'm like, all right, huddle up, everybody, let's do our part and let's work this out, right? So
That's true. That is true.
yeah, so that is
But you do it in love,
you do,
Do it
you
in love.
do, you
And
do, and
then
I yeah,
if you're
go
not
ahead.
walking around mad at them all the time, they're not gonna be mad. You know.
Sure
That's so
are.
real.
But I think motherhood has taught me too is a lot of planning and time
Yes.
management. I mean, you got to make time for the kids, you got to make time for your husband, but in all of it you make time for the family.
Yes.
Mothers always seem to organize things. Organization is a big thing, for
That's good.
motherhood, and I
Yeah.
think it's taught me a lot of organizing to get things done. All the things you have to get done before you go to bed. When you got a baby,
Yes.
you got to make sure they're fed, they're bathed, and if you got 3 or 4 of them, 1 and 2 year olds, they're jumping in the bathtub and you're screaming out here with the baby. And, it's like you got a lot of things going on, but
Right.
if you time manage and
Yes.
just work it out, like you said, it's something God has blessed you with to even be able to do that.
Yeah.
And I look back and I think, how did I do it with these poor kids? And dad wasn't always around. I mean, he was at work at night. He worked at night.
Yeah.
So how did I do that? And I said, you know
Right.
what? Ain't nothing but God that helped me through that. But he taught me how to do it in the time that I had
Wow.
and how to do it.
And
I
look
mean,
at
you
them
had,
now.
you had to
No,
always
look at
be,
them now.
Look,
you always had to
look
be
at me.
aware of the
Okay,
things,
just kidding.
you know?
Yes,
Yeah.
And
we
even
do.
when the emergencies came up, if they fell and had to get stitches or something, it's like motherly instincts. You
Motherly
didn't
instinct.
realize
That's
you
right.
have them down on the inside, but
Listen,
when it
Yeah.
happens, it's like,
It kicks
I
in
didn't know
right
I
away.
had that,
Yes.
but you do.
You
yeah,
It's
do.
something that God just gives us, and we just have to learn to bring it out of us. That's all.
Right.
it's
And
Yep,
so.
for the most part, we do a pretty good job. I have to admit.
absolutely.
You guys do
Yep.
an amazing job. I mean, look at us. You got two moms already out of the deal. So
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
you
Right?
true.
got you got and
And
more to come.
you
I'm
are very
sure.
amazing young women. You
Yes,
really are.
Yes, they
and
are.
Very
I
amazing.
think we can definitely. I'm going to speak for Chris since she ain't here, but I could definitely say that we definitely honor you guys for all that you've done
Yes.
and poured into us because I think like they always say, it takes a family to raise a village, or a village to raise a family. There we go. I'm tired, y'all. um, so it definitely shows that, your mom, though, is that nurture, and she's always going to help you regardless of how old you are. I mean, I
That's
think
true.
anybody, if anything bad happens, if it's a bad day, it's always, let me call my mom, like or somebody who resembles your mom. And so that's one thing I want to end on, because both of you, I think God has given you extra children besides the ones
Yes.
that you have birthed,
Yes.
right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And
Yes, ma'am.
so, how has that felt to play a role of motherhood to some of these other children that need it? How has that been? How are those relationships? I'll let you start, Mom.
For me, it's been amazing because it's like I feel like you said, we have those motherly instincts. So when you see a child that is without and doesn't really feel like their mom is there all the time or whatever the case may be, and you just kind of step in, you don't become their mother, but you help them learn to know what a mother is like. And you love them, even if they might not be getting the love that they really desire to have from their own mothers. But I like it. And I know my kids always said, well, don't let him call you mom.
That was my
And,
sister. It's fine.
and I said I was okay with that. But, even if they did call me mom, I would say, it's okay, daughter or son. And, it disturbed them a little bit, but that's like I said, that's just the motherly thing that's inside of me. I love children. I love to help them if they're in need. I love to love them and teach them how to love somebody, even
Mhm.
themselves.
Right.
The biggest thing is teaching them to love themselves.
That's so true. That's so good.
Mhm.
Yes. All right. Well, Miss Audrey, tell us your experience.
It's really been a good experience. It really has. I mean, I've had people's kids from, wow, since I was a kid. I've been doing this.
Mm.
And when I had my kids, and I used to pray that my kids didn't get upset or get jealous. They didn't really say too much. It's like they just embraced it, because I came from a family like that too. Our house was like that. The kids in the neighborhood were always at our house, and we
Mm.
weren't allowed to go too many places anyway. And I became like that. I became the
Yeah.
neighborhood mom, and all the kids would come over. It got to the point when my kids were younger that even on the weekends, Saturday morning, the kids would be at the door. Other people's kids be at the door talking about what's for breakfast. And it's like, wait a minute, what are you doing here?
Right?
But I loved it because, like you said, you got a chance to nurture these kids, and
Right.
a lot of them, their parents worked all the time, or we
Right.
only had one parent household, so mom when they would spend a lot of time with them. So you got a chance to really help them out. And I love working with the parents also, helping them
Right.
out to be do things, letting them be able to do things they want to do or whatever, and showing them how to interact with their own kids. And because
Yeah.
a lot of neighborhood kids get jealous because I spend so much time with my kids, but I think it helped, really helped me, and it helped them
Mm.
at the same time. But it helped me to really learn how to nurture them,
Yes.
and then nurture other people's children,
Yeah.
because I learned from doing what with my kids, what I could do with other people's children. And even like when you came to the church, Liz, it was like, and Bishop would send my house and Sister Jane's house. Bishop always sent everybody to our house.
Yep, I got sent to the Browns,
Yes.
and I'm so glad I
But
did.
I loved it. It was like, and she came this little fragile thing. I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna do with her? But she
I know
was
I
so
was so
sweet.
quiet.
It
I
was
was.
so
I was
sweet and
so quiet.
quiet. And it's like, and I'm thinking in my mind, I got crazy kids in my house.
She's
You
like, I
gotta
don't know
learn.
how it's gonna work, but
Right. But she blended in, no problem. And her and Chris just took to each other just so quickly. And it was like, oh,
yeah.
wow, okay, I see. But I've enjoyed, even now, I still do it. I still have
Mm.
people's kids, and, it's like people will call me, can you, okay. But I love it.
Right.
I can never see myself without
Amen.
nurturing somebody's child. I
Yeah.
love it. I do.
Me
That's
too.
amazing. Yeah, and definitely shout out to Miss Audrey. She definitely helped me through a lot of things when didn't have my mom physically
Or
near me. She was always there. She definitely showed her tough love, and I think that's one thing I do appreciate. She was always open and honest. She got me together when I needed to get together, and
thank you, Miss
but.
Brown.
Not a problem.
Thanks you as
Not
well,
a
but
problem.
I always worried about her up there. I was like,
Oh no, I got her. I got her. No matter.
18 and she's all up 17 and she's up there by
Yeah.
herself.
Yes, but
No, I got her. God put her with the right ones. I got her.
I know he
he
did.
definitely did, and look at me now. So
Yep, look at you now.
I thank you both, and Miss Lindsay even gave you a shout out too, Miss
Hey,
Audrey.
Lindsay.
She said
Yeah,
that
Lindsay
you
was
helped.
another one.
Lindsay
Yeah,
was
Right.
another child that she took
yes, she
in.
was. That's
So
my baby.
we definitely are grateful for your all's love and nurturing hearts. I think that is something every mother should carry and have, and I think that's without question. Um, a mother by her character. You know how she reacts. I mean, I could definitely say for my mom, she'll just be one to take over and be like, "Here, let me help you." She don't even know the person. And I'll be
That's
like,
yeah.
"Mom, like just
But
jump
that's
in."
that mother in us, though. That's
But
that
it
mother
is.
in us.
It's the mother, and that's one thing I find myself doing sometimes. Like, dang, I'm acting like my mom.
See, there you go. Another characteristic of your mother.
Another
There you go.
character,
right.
but it's okay. It's a good one, though.
It's
It's
a
a
good
good one.
one,
At
right?
least it's
It's a good
a
one.
good one. It's not something crazy off the wall. So, but no, thank you so much, though, Miss Audrey,
Well, thank you.
and thank you, Mom, for joining me tonight on Tea
you.
Time. I look like Chris had some technical difficulties, but we
Yeah.
thank her too for joining us and sharing her experience as a mother and going into motherhood again
Again.
for the third time. So we say congratulations to the World's family
Yeah.
on their next new edition. So, and Lindsay says a shout out to you too, Mom. And
My mom fixed her headlights.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
my mom is
Yeah.
a whole like Google mechanic, whatever you need. I
Wow.
swear.
Oh, yeah.
But that's that farm girl
Right.
in her.
Yeah.
We had to fix it. We just did.
They taught you everything, and I find myself once again doing the same thing. Like, I'll just do it myself. It's fine.
We were taught a lot of good things because every summer we used to have to go out to my grandparents' farm every summer in Arkansas. We had to catch the chicken, bring the
Oh,
net.
yeah.
We had to tuck the
We
feathers.
cleaned many.
We had to,
Man.
to kill the cow. We had to hang it up to salt it down. We had to do all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, we had
Yeah.
look, and still had to go outside and use the we didn't
Outhouse.
have indoor plumbing. Yeah, the outhouse.
Right.
Lord.
My
See,
grandma and grandpa too. Yeah.
Like I tell my kids, y'all just don't know.
Sure
okay.
don't.
I think it's every generation because I tell my son the same.
Yeah.
I said I put them out there on the farm for a week and they'd be running back.
Yes.
I mean, it wasn't always, but no.
Yeah, we had no air conditioning.
None.
Mm-mm.
Listen,
Look,
No.
you better get that fan and get the vent.
listen.
That's it.
Yes, ma'am.
We had light layers going to bed. Let me just say that. Light layers, but
I don't mind. I don't mind the fresh air to this day. No, ma'am.
But you know
I don't either.
that is definitely something I can appreciate from your side of the family as well. Like shout out to my grandmother, Jerry Robinson, for teaching me so much. Like those summers did change my whole entire life. Yeah, I'm telling you what, like she would let us sleep in at all. I had to learn how to hang clothes on the line.
Oh Lord.
And where to put certain things because I was putting personal items on the outside, like let it fly. She's like, no, put it in the inside of the line and put the sheets on the outside.
Yeah.
And she didn't believe in going to public pools, so she bought her a little pool and she said, y'all go swim. Okay. So we learned a lot, but like I said, if it wasn't for that time and that season in my life, I don't think once again I would have the work ethic that I have now. Like
Amen.
it taught me to, you work regardless. You do what you got to do,
Yes.
and you cherish what you have. I mean, I don't think people do this anymore, but she taught us how to can food. Like I was like, what are we doing?
And we had to learn all this.
Like we can't just go to the store and get the 50%.
We didn't do a lot of fast food. We didn't go do fast food.
That
Was a
didn't.
treat. That was
There was
going to
no
McDonald's
fast.
was a treat.
Mhm.
Going to McDonald's was a treat.
It sure was.
Everything was homemade. Everything. No, we didn't play that. My mom didn't play it. It was homemade. Yes.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like
Yep.
everything was homemade. Like because I mean, when you're in the middle of nowhere,
That's right. You gotta
can't,
know.
get
have to
up and go to a McDonald's. So
And we
That's
sat
right.
down and ate dinner every
As
night
they
at
say.
his
Every
table.
night. And that's
at
one
a
of the things I did
table.
with my kids when they were
Yep.
growing up. We had dinner every
Same
night.
here.
See,
We
We
that's
talked
live
about
in
the
them.
day, how
Yep.
the day went, and
something
everything.
too.
Yes, that was a big
You
thing.
don't see
Yes,
that much anymore, though.
you
You
don't.
don't.
You
You
don't.
don't. And I think that's something I definitely valued the most because you talked about your day. You had conversation.
Yes,
I think that even built that interpersonal conversation
it did.
because you think about it today. A lot of younger people don't. I'm not going to say me, but a lot of younger people don't want to have those personal conversations. They'll rather text you
Right.
call you or it's not in your face or having that intimate time. So I think that is something that we do miss out in value of life
Hmm.
that helps your character.
Yeah.
But those are things that we have to cherish, and we thank God for grandparents like you and somewhat older parents like me. So
Stop.
Girl, you ain't even hit your prime yet. Stop
Right.
talking. How they tell them you
I'm
still wet
just
behind the
mature.
ears?
There you go.
Thank you very much. But
Help her out, Sister
anyway,
Audrey.
but anyway, well, thank you all. Like I said, once again, thank you guys again for taking the time out tonight and just conversating with us. I hope you all enjoyed this Mother's Day
I did.
special.
Yes.
We thank you all for, like I said, tuning in. And this come next Tuesday, we're gonna have some more great tea for you with my guest, Miss Kat Regland. So stay tuned for the
Yes.
next time on Tea Time with Liz. But we all wish you a blessed night. We'll see you
Liz,
next week.
before you go,
Oh, yes,
I
ma'am.
want to let you know that I want to get one of the big cups and one of the small cups, and you can give them to whoever you want to give them to. But I will buy one of each, and you can give them to whoever you want to give them to.
Oh, well, thank you, Miss Audrey. Yes, I will definitely make sure that I'll exchange that information. And then, yeah, well, next time on Tea Time, we will pass those cups out as a donation to
All right.
somebody out here
Awesome.
as a giveaway. So, y'all stay tuned for next week. We got some great giveaways then ahead. Because we didn't have one tonight, but that's okay because we had some great tea. I mean, I don't think we need any more giveaway. This is some great wisdom. But yeah, next week we'll definitely give out those 2 mugs, and then also I am starting up my cookie business, so I'm going to give a
Cool.
free dozen of cookies out next week to somebody so that you can try them out, see how you
Cool.
like them. So stay tuned for next week for sure for a great tea time. Can't say it was better than this one because this one was greater, but it's definitely gonna get your teeth. So once again, here we go. We're gonna sign off this time for sure. We'll see you
All
all
right.
next week. All
All
Bye
right.
right.
Bye
bye. Bye
bye.
bye.